The knockout is often considered the most spectacular aspect of martial arts. However, it's important to note that athleticism and a chiseled physique are not required to knock out your opponent. In this video, we will be showcasing some of the best moments in MMA where fighters with potbellies surprised both the audience and their opponents with their fighting skills. Number 1. Ben Rothwell. Despite his ungainly appearance, Ben Rothwell achieved great success in his career, winning 14 of his 15 bouts between 2005 to 2008, and never losing a fight in the prestigious IFL League. After initial criticism for his awkward movements in the UFC, Rothwell earned worldwide respect for his knockout wins against Brandon Vera and Alistair Overeem. In his fight against Vera, Rothwell took control of the fight early on and landed a powerful right hand that sent Vera crashing to the mat. And in his fight against Overeem, Rothwell survived an early onslaught from the Dutch striker before he unleashed a flurry of punches that ended the fight in the first round. Rothwell's power and underrated striking skills make him a dangerous opponent for anyone in the heavyweight division. Number 2. Mike Russo. Despite his flabby physique, Mike Russo won his UFC debut and went on to defeat Todd Duffy, a bodybuilder with superior moves and an undefeated record, in a grueling 10-minute fight. Russo's victory over Duffy is one of the most impressive upsets in UFC history, and it showed that fitness and athleticism are not always the most important factors in MMA. Russo's unorthodox fighting style, which included wild punches and spinning kicks, made him unpredictable and difficult to prepare for. Although Russo's career in the UFC was short-lived, his victories over Duffy and John Madsen showed that he was capable of competing at the highest level of MMA. Number 3. Chris Barnett. Chris Barnett may not have the most athletic appearance, but he has built an impressive collection of wins, culminating in a championship belt. His finishes against Tragus Wolff and John Hill are particularly noteworthy for their crushing power. In his fight against Wolff, Barnett landed a devastating knee in the first round that left Wolff unconscious. And in his fight against Hill, Barnett showcased his striking skills and knocked out his opponent with a powerful punch in the second round. Barnett's unique fighting style, which includes spinning kicks and acrobatic moves, may not be conventional, but has proven to be effective in the cage. Number 4. Daniel Cormier. Although known more for his commentary and analysis today, Daniel Cormier began his fighting career as a heavyweight with an 8-bout winning streak. After knocking out Bigfoot Silva in the first round in his Strikeforce heavyweight Grand Prix debut, Cormier's career skyrocketed. Cormier's blend of striking and wrestling skills made him a formidable opponent for anyone in the division, and his victories over Josh Barnett and Frank Mir cemented his position as one of the top heavyweights in the world. Although Cormier eventually dropped down to light heavyweight and became a 2-division world champion, his early career as a potbelly heavyweight is a testament to the fact that fitness and athleticism are not always required to achieve success in MMA. Number 5. Justin Willis. Although he may not have the most athletic physique, Justin Willis made a spectacular start to his UFC career with a knockout against Alan Crowder halfway through the opening round of their fight. Willis' heavy hands and precise striking made him a dangerous opponent for anyone in the division, and his victories over Chase Sherman and Mark Hunt showed that he was a legitimate contender in the heavyweight division. Although Willis has since been released from the UFC, his success in the promotion is a reminder that physical fitness is not always the most important factor in MMA. Number 6. Timothy Johnson. Despite his mustache and jetty belly vibes, Timothy Johnson had a positive win-loss ratio in the UFC. However, he was knocked out in less than 2 minutes in his Bellator debut by his opponent, who was considered less athletic. Johnson's loss to his Bellator opponent reminded that anything can happen in MMA. And physical fitness is not always the most important factor in determining the outcome of a fight. Despite the setback, Johnson has continued to be a force in the heavyweight division and has defeated several notable opponents over the course of his career. Number 7. Bob Sapp. With his muscle mass, facial expressiveness, and showmanship, Bob Sapp was a popular fighter in Japan. However, he suffered his 14th consecutive loss against Chinese fighter Arigil due to a powerful blow. Sapp's career was characterized by his flamboyant personality and his willingness to take on opponents who were often much larger than he was. Although Sapp's success in MMA was limited, his contribution to the sport and his ability to entertain audiences should not be overlooked. Number 8. Mark Hunt. With his steel chin, Mark Hunt was a highly successful heavyweight fighter, with wins in the K1 Grand Prix and the UFC. His knockout against Cheick Kongo, who was considered more athletic, was particularly impressive. The fight was back and forth, with both fighters landing heady shots, but it was Hunt who eventually prevailed with a series of devastating punches that sent Kongo to the mat. Hunt's striking skills and toughness made him a fan favorite, and his success in the UFC and other promotions made him one of the most respected heavyweights of his era. Number 9. Roy Nelson. Roy Nelson may not have had the most impressive physique, but he had knockout power. His knockout against Cheick Kongo secured his 3rd straight knockout and was the most memorable moment of his career. Nelson's strength and durability made him a difficult opponent for anyone in the division, and his victories over notable opponents such as Stefan Struve and Brendan Schaub proved that physical fitness is not always the most important factor in MMA. Number 10. David Abbott. David Abbott, also known as the Tank, was a legend of MMA in the early days, when the sport was referred to as human cockfighting. Despite his beer belly and violent tendencies, Abbott won 5 one-day UFC tournaments. Abbott's unorthodox fighting style and knockout power made him a fan favorite, and his victories over opponents such as Ebenezer Fontes Braga and Kimo Leopoldo solidified his position as one of the early stars of MMA. In this video, we have showcased the best moments in MMA, where fighters with potbellies surprised both the audience and their opponents with their fighting skills. From Ben Rothwell's knockout wins against Brandon Vera and Alistair Overeem, to David Abbott's 5 one-day UFC tournaments. These examples demonstrate that physical fitness and athleticism are not always required to achieve success in MMA. Whether it's through power, striking skills, or unorthodox fighting styles, these fighters have proven that anything can happen in the cage, and that MMA is a sport that rewards those who are willing to take risks and push themselves to their limits.